Coffee's for closers only. You think I'm fucking with you? I am not fucking with you. I am not fucking with you. Coffee's for closers only. Closers only. Coffee's for closers only.
All right, we're back. Circling Back podcast coming to you live from Austin, Texas. It's Coffee Friday, which means one thing. No rundown, just vibes. My name's Will DeFries. To my left, David, Mr. Bing Bong himself, Roth.
It's not an official nickname, but I'll take it. First time listening to the Coffee Friday intro with headphones on. And let me just say, banger.
It's a bop.
Also, did not realize that our girl Unka Jams made it in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice touch, as a great man says. So anyway, thanks for having me.
Dylan Shivery, ladies and gentlemen.
I noticed you got your I'm a Tough Guy t-shirt on today.
Yeah, box.
For our guest.
This
That's
is
cool, man.
This is my I need to do laundry t-shirt.
Okay.
Not that there's anything wrong with the shirt. It's just it fits a little tiny.
It's a boxing club t-shirt if you can't see it, folks. And our guests we're about to intro.
Dude, Dave.
I'm trying to impress Brandon.
Have you seen Fight Club, man?
If you want these hands, I'll give you these hands.
You have the same t-shirt.
I will
don't
give
you?
you the hands.
Don't you own this t-shirt as well?
I do, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Is this one of those?
It's a cool shirt.
Is this one of those
It
deals
is
when
a
they
cool
didn't
shirt.
send me one because they're like, yeah, we didn't.
We don't want this
Those
guy.
two guys should probably have boxing shirts, but yeah, Will's good.
Don't send one to the NARP of the group.
Shout out Music City.
We have a very special guest today. He's coming to us live from. You're in California right now, right? You're not somewhere else on the road right now.
No,
Brandon?
No, I'm at home.
His name's Brandon Wenerd. You probably know him from BroBible. Brandon, welcome to the program.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for having me. This is such an honor to be on with y'all.
Honestly, it's been too long. This should have happened a while back, I think.
I mean, how long have we all known each other in the internet world?
Yeah.
Like a decade?
You've been
Over a decade?
Long time.
Yeah, we've known about you. I mean, the media industry, at least like in our little part of the media industry, like we all kind of know who each other are, you know? At Grand X, we've known about you and your guys and obviously BroBible since like way back. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we followed like literally every chapter about Grand X,
Yeah.
like over the years, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of all of that, all of the above to talk about.
Was there ever a rivalry between because me viewing it from afar, I always thought there was like you had the guys who would, and they were mainly like Midwest or Northern, like bro guys who would say, "Oh, that's bro." Then you had the frat.
The frat contingent in the Southeast.
But then they converged and created a super genre.
I think that's fair. I'm curious about I'm actually really curious about what you guys think if there's a rivalry. I don't think that's a subject that we've ever really addressed.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think there was ever any. I honestly feel like there was. I feel like we might have had some internal rivalries at Grand X, or at least some chips on our shoulder, like where we were like, "Hey, like, I want to beat these guys." But like BroBible, I feel like there was always a mutual respect there. There was never some kind of like, "Yeah, I don't like these guys."
We always tried to be. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's how I feel. That's how we were too. Like for years.
I almost felt like if you guys were doing something, it's like, hey, maybe we should think about doing this. Like that's actually like these guys seem to know what they're doing. Let's maybe follow their lead a little bit sometimes.
There were always like certain news stories that would come out and that would just fit like our brand and our demo. So we would cover it. Like BroBible would cover something, we would cover something, and then sometimes like Barstool Sports would cover something. They had like 80 writers at the time, so they were like always first. And then there's always kind of like, all right, who's going to get to it first? Who's going to do a better job of covering it? But we each had our own little unique kind of spin on everything.
100%. I think a lot of it was like who was going to have like the audience members send something newsworthy to somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like the thing I was kind of thinking about a lot was like Johnny Manziel news back in the day, where like, Johnny Manziel would show up at a bar somewhere, and I think like probably all three of those sites would receive the same information from someone that was at that bar. And it was just a matter of like, well, who was going to get to it first to
Yeah.
make it like
Yeah.
some kind of newsworthy thing, you know?
I remember like it would be like Saturday morning, and Johnny Manziel would do something stupid the night before, and I remember like waking up in a group chat being like, "We got to be first on this. Can someone upload this video to YouTube so we can embed it?" Well, and it was just like, "Oh man, like we're trying to be first on Johnny Manziel stuff."
When Manziel was at the height of his, fame, and he became the starter, he beats Alabama and all that. And then he was also like this party guy who would like be seen with like Instagram models, and he would just be in Cancun doing whatever, or Cabo. It was an exhausting time in Grand X history because you had to cover every move that he made. Like we get a text at like 11 o'clock at night, "Hey, Manziel's doing so and so." Like, oh, someone's got to write something about it. It was a fun ride.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think we all thought we were going to get Pulitzers for like our coverage of, what college football players partying looked like back in the day.
I was trying to reminisce and kind of recall some of the old, like really viral news stories from back in the day. And the one that jumped out at me immediately was the cunt punt situation.
Amazing.
I don't
Yes,
remember her
Rebecca.
name. Rebecca, that's right. And did you guys hire her at one point? Is that right?
We sure did, and it was she's wonderful. Like, and she worked for us for years. It was just kind of like one of those things when that went viral. We covered it, you guys covered it, and then she kept like, for some reason, she like kept a line of communication open with me.
Mm-hmm.
After, I think it was because we didn't like there was something she respected about how we covered, where we didn't like, make fun of her or something like that. I think we like kind of celebrated it in a way. And that kept a line of communication open. And she was like, a year later graduating. And I was like, well, you're obviously a good writer. So, that's kind of the day one criteria for the job. And so we integrated her in, and she kind of like, it was interesting. She covered a lot of kind of advice stuff for a while, but then spun went really hard into like kind of covering news and like college news and whatever, and giving her spin. It was awesome. She's great.
Man, I just tried to pull it up, and there's a Cosmo article on it, and the link is a TFM article, but I cannot pull. It's no longer in existence.
Oh,
That's a good thing for all of us.
No,
I
but it's
think.
bad for the SEO if it's a broken link inbound, dog.
But-
we got to fix that.
Oh,
To set the stage here, she wrote an email during her junior year of college,
get Felser on it.
verbally destroying her sorority chapter for being, quote, fucking boners around fraternities during Greek week. She was henceforth known as the cunt punt queen. I don't think we called her that. And is now working at BroBible as of the time of this Cosmo article.
It was a huge story, man. I mean, it went like crazy viral. Like anyone who
Yeah.
posted about it was getting clicks. It was wild.
It was on like late night shows, I think. Like there
Yeah.
were definitely some like late night shows that were referencing it. Like it was big.
You don't see sorority girls call fellow sorority sisters fucking boners.
I like that.
I do like it.
Maybe they shouldn't have been acting like fucking boners.
She was ahead of her time.
Yeah,
I need to know what happened.
I want her on my team now.
Absolutely.
I remember being jealous, or like I knew the guys who had started TFM, and I don't think I was working for Grand X at the time. But when I saw that y'all had hired her, I remember being like, "Ooh, that should have been them. That should have been my guys. We should have hired her."
Yeah, I think because they covered it in a way that it was like you said, like celebrating her, and we were probably just like, "Who is this crazy chick that's like tearing apart her sorority?" And she probably didn't like that as much. To be fair,
Michael Shannon.
Yeah, that was it.
I mean,
that was it.
I remember that very vividly.
Okay.
I kind of know, I wasn't with Grand X in the early days, but I kind of know everything at this point of what happened in order to make Grand X kind of blow up and become this like popular site. What was really the starting point or catalyst with BroBible that took you guys from like to being something that was, something you can do for a living?
The first thing like back in the day was how we started embracing like all these college rappers that were like that were like just kind of like knew it, like the Asher Roths of the world,
Yeah.
like and that sort of thing. Like
Sammy
back
Adams.
in the day, like
Mhm.
Sammy Adams was a huge one. Sammy Adams in 2009, he released a song where he said like, "I'm hanging with my Bro Bible boys." Like
Yes.
one of the, it's called Tab Open. And that was the thing where I think like we were kind of like, oh, this like little like community that at the time was like a message board, not really like focused on our like publishing efforts. We're like, oh, this could be like a real thing. And people started like really recognizing it and everything like that. So we started seeing a lot of direct traffic. And then we started steering more into like news and kind of the writing stuff that you see now. And I don't know, man. It's just like things just started falling in our lap. I don't really know how to like. Look, a lot of it I feel like it's just luck, but like growing the audience really fell into just kind of capitalizing on things that came down the line, like little bits of gossip about like those like rappers that weren't like, they weren't covered culturally, but they were really popular with like college kids.
Mhm.
Also the rise of like the EDM scene back in the day, like with like Avicii and all of those kind of people that seemingly came out of nowhere in like 2010. The way that we kind of just constantly like covered them became a way where we were sort of becoming more of an authority for the audience as large. Will you say that though? Like, didn't you write for us back in the day?
Yeah, I did. And early on when I was doing Sunday Scaries, I was sending my stuff out and I was like, man, I want to write. And so I ended up sending it to a bunch of people. And right at the same time, I think I had like a few columns published on Bro Bible. Right around that time, I got the full-time job offer to come down to Grand X, and it was like, well, okay, I guess my decision's been made for me. But it was like a very quick bang, bang, bang thing.
Yeah. Did you even launch the podcast yet whenever you wrote that?
No, I didn't launch it for a few years after. We didn't have any podcasting going on. So I was really just like, I mean, I was happy if a column of mine got 50 clicks.
Were you writing under your name, or was it a Sunday Scaries thing?
Sunday Scaries name, yeah. I was too afraid to write under my name. But I mean, I had been following Bro Bible and really TFM for a while before I even started writing. I mean, I wasn't totally relating with the TFM content for obvious reasons because I'm a GDI.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy watching. I did enjoy like it was just hilarious content, like seeing college kids doing dumb stuff, the one-liners, everything, and then Bro Bible just kind of hit the same stride with everything. And I mean, we were listening to all those people you named, every single person you just named, we were listening to and having fun. And so I just wasn't sure. Like I know The Wall was like a huge reason. The one-liners from TFM was a huge reason that things started blowing up, especially on Twitter.
That was the reason.
Yeah, that's how it started.
And then like Reagan Bush 84, which some people wear on television these days, on jury duty.
Yeah, that's right.
What about back-to-back World War champs? That was the one that.
What was bigger? Like, what was bigger between those two?
Oh, okay.
Back to back.
I was originally hired. I was hired by Grand X in October of 2011, and they're like, "All right, you're gonna run the whole operations for Ratty Gentlemen." Well, actually, it was called Frocket Tees at the time.
Frat pocket. Combined two things.
It was front pocket.
Oh, front pocket.
Front
okay.
pocket.
No, dude, it was definitely frat pocket.
So
everybody.
Frocket Tees, and we had a few designs going, and I was shipping I was doing like 12 orders a day. Like it was not a big operation. And so in my spare time, when I wasn't doing that, I was writing columns, and that's how I got my start, like in the content part. But we soon switched over to Ratty Gentlemen, and then we saw the back-to-back World War champs design floating around somewhere on the internet. Like we didn't come up with it, but we saw it, or maybe someone submitted it to us. It was like like a vintage hat that said it or something with like a big rope on it. We're like, that is a killer idea. And so we launched this design, and we went, like I said, I was doing 12 orders a day at the time. And when that thing picked up steam, I was staying up at the office until like 7, 8 o'clock, just filling orders. And we were doing hundreds a day, and I could not keep up. And that was really what like funded the company, and we were able to hire more people and get the content, the content arm of the company going even more. But I was like, guys, this is not a one-man operation. hundreds a day. And I'd go back in the morning and check the feed and like, oh, I have 500 to do today. It was like, guys, we can't do it anymore. So we outsourced that. But that got the company funded in order to us, gave us the freedom to do a whole lot more on the content side and release more designs. It was a wild ride, but that was a design that really made Grand X take off for sure.
That shirt was everywhere. I
Yeah.
remember because we were in New York, and I remember when I'd go to some of the Murray Hill bars and everything like that, and people would be wearing that tag, just realizing that oh man, that's the bro culture, millennial guy culture, shirt of the summer. It was everywhere. We were, and when you talk about rivalry, we were definitely from a business standpoint jealous. We were damn, hell yeah, those guys are capitalizing on merch and we don't have merch. That's sick.
You should have just stolen the design like Barstool did. They did the exact same thing.
There were a number of outlets that sold it. It was I remember when I got on, there was 5 different, not even 5, 10. So many people were selling it. We're like, well.
I remember J.J. Watt wore the shirt on Hard Knocks at the time.
That's right.
It was a really big deal.
I do remember that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was that rookie year, J.J. Watt?
Had to be year 1 or 2.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably 2012 when it happened. However old he was then, I'm not sure. Yeah, wild ride, man.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, those are the little cool things where I feel like for me, reflecting back on them, when you realize oh, you're kind of your sort of newness culturally is really important. And it converges just with the storm of other things that are happening. One of the things that I think that was super interesting was back in the day was Evan Spiegel, the founder of Snapchat. He initially pitched us Snapchat via a blind email to BroBible, and we just ignored it. We were just we were oh, this doesn't matter. This sounds weird. And then what was the other one too that I always think is really funny? Oh, Chet Hanks, Chet Hayes back in the day. We just had him come to before he blew up or kind of went on his
White Boy Summer.
Yeah, did the White Boy Summer thing. We were he was just a college rapper at Northwestern, and he really wanted to come to our office because at the time it was the blog era of music, and that was how a lot of new music was distributed. So he wanted to kind of just chat us up to basically distribute his rap. And I don't know, it's so funny to think of and he's a very kind, nice guy. It was a good hang, to be honest.
Do you ever have nightmares about the internet footprint you were leaving behind with all that you've written in your past? Dave mentioned that TFM link being dead, which I'm so thankful for. That a lot of that stuff you can no longer it's been archived
all the time.
It's such
Absolutely,
a blessing.
All the time. We've had to, and the reality is that just the nature of what we were for basically 4 or 5 years. I mean, we distributed a lot of just, hey, this YouTube video is going viral. This thing is whatever. There really wasn't a whole lot of copy. And now, years later, as we've continued to preserve the business, or, honestly, our business is in one of the best spots we've ever been in. But as we've continued with, evolving as an organization, we've had to get rid of a lot of that thin content because it's SEO best practices. Google doesn't like it. It's there's not really any context by just saying that some video went viral and it's really popular in a fraternity listserv or something like that. So the footprint stuff like that, it's definitely real, and we've thought about it a lot, especially though because we've wanted to get BroBible into deeper with SEO and stuff like that. So a lot of that old stuff we're just kind of it doesn't really matter anymore,
Oh gosh.
I would love to just be able to nuke a couple pages that are still up right now for myself.
Oh, absolutely.
That's probably nothing like actually bad, but I'm like, oh man, that's just a bad column. Like
Yeah.
I just mailed it in
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
Like that just isn't. This is a terrible representation of myself.
Those days when the site was slow, the remotes hadn't submitted anything. I'm just gonna write something to put something on the site, and like, look, it's like terrible, just a total mail in.
Dude, the article I wrote about the guy who wanted to kill himself, so he went down to Mexico, and while he was down there, he does a bunch of cocaine and sleeps with a bunch of prostitutes. And he's like, you know what? I want to keep living. That was obviously the headline's a story there, but I wrote that article, and it was one of the worst articles I think I've ever written. But the headline has gone viral so many times over, and my name, like some of the screen captures have Roger Dorn, which I'm thankful for, but some of them have Dylan Shivery, and it's like I don't want this floating around for eternity on the internet. I want it to
I
disappear.
got bad
like-
news.
yeah,
It's gone around enough at this point that you're fucked.
I won't get into details, but you were almost the reason for a major motion picture with that story.
I know.
Like,
I know.
and yeah,
Oh man.
Who was?
yeah.
You should've-
I don't want to.
I don't
Just
think
the
we're
chat.
legally allowed to say who was
Okay,
doing it.
okay.
I
You've
I
heard
would-
of him though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You've heard of him.
That's right. I forgot that he like bought the story from us.
Yeah.
Weird.
I mean, it's really funny. Every time I see that screen grab, it's like it's such an old internet time capsule too, because
Yeah.
even just like the design and UX
the
of like
font.
how it was screenshot,
Oh, and the-
it's so funny.
Like the featured image, I'm like, okay, what can we were really scared about, like copyright infringement back then. So I don't know. I didn't know what picture to use. So I think I got on like mapquest.com and I just did, I typed in like Austin to Cabo, wherever the story took place, Austin to Cancun or whatever it was. And it was like the worst graphic of all time. It was just like the route to get there on a map. And that was the image. And like, it makes no, the guy wasn't even from Austin. Like that's where I was. So that's where the origin started. It's really stupid.
What was the TSM article that had a really bad featured image where the girl's like on a landline phone, but it's about texting him back or something?
It said why he's not texting you back was the title. Yeah, and the image was just some girl like staring at a rotary phone.
Yeah, I don't know why it was such an old school.
And
phone.
so, but I won't say the young lady's name who wrote it, but I was like, by the way, people are dunking on you all over the internet, right? What's the reason for the?
It's an
picture.
engagement hack, dude.
She was like, it's like supposed to be like ironic
it
or
was
something.
in reality. And
It's like, okay,
retrospect, it was kind of genius because it's still.
Yeah.
I saw it not that long ago.
maybe she's smarter than all of us because it got shared so many
She
different
probably
times.
is.
Yeah,
just in general.
I see it like every now and then, like your
Yeah,
Mexico thing.
Yeah.
So good.
I have an idea why he's not texting you back. You're
Yeah.
staring at a rotary phone.
Brandon, when are cargos coming back?
Dude, I think they're back, man.
Let's go.
I kind of
It's
think they are
like,
too.
Why do we not have that was such a why do we not have cargo shorts discourse like we used to have?
Mhm.
Like
Because I think we shamed everyone out of them. Like no one wears them. Like for a decade, like people just gave up on them. They're tired of getting made fun of. Dave actually famously skydove in some cargo shorts.
Yeah, I made the mistake
I feel
yesterday
like
on
it should
the
be
pod. of-
skydived.
It probably is.
I told y'all when I was 17, I went skydiving in California in cargos. And I felt weird even saying it because like I could feel Dylan, like there's something in Dylan that just want to be like, huh.
I thought it was weird that you also
Interesting.
had Sperry's on too while you did it though.
Okay. I
Yeah,
did
but
not
were they
have
gold
Sperry.
cups?
Ooh.
Were they gold cups?
I think they were New Balances with like the old, like the ones with the giant N on them. Like I feel like I had the old
Oh,
school
the
Newbies.
990s?
The 990s, yeah.
Yeah.
You ever been to a wedding where like a girl shows up in a dress and the dress has pockets in it and everyone goes wild and she's like, look at my pockets. And everyone's like, oh, those are sick pockets. I show up to a wedding in cargo shorts and everyone's like, dude, what are you doing? And it's like, why do you have so many pockets on your person?
Dave, the 990s remind me of one of my favorite TFMs of all time. And it's like the reflection of a bunch of ends running across the frat house front lawn when the cops show up or something like that.
The little reflective.
Yeah, because
Oh,
there was like a reflective N on the shoe.
Yeah.
So
I
good.
remember we had this guy who just kind of like a random internet writer. Obviously, like we spilt so much ink over like the cargo shorts thing. We had this guy who was a state trooper in Idaho, I think, who was like, he like reached out to me and he was like, I love cargo shorts. I want to write in defense of like cargo shorts. Like, will you publish it if I write it? And I'm just like, I was like, yeah, you're like a 45-year-old
Yeah.
like state trooper in Idaho. Like, I will 1,000% like publish that. And so he did, and it was really great. It was super thoughtful. He had written a couple other things for us at the time, and the amount of like vitriol I got for that like was absolutely unfathomable. But like people also loved it too. I think that was maybe where people were like, oh, the Bro Bible guys aren't real bros. They're just, they're fake bros because they're
no.
supportive cargo shorts.
You lost it.
God. They're not real bros.
My favorite on when TFM, when y'all would post a photo of like, it could be like Leonardo DiCaprio or something in cargo shorts, and it's just him doing something really cool because it's Leo. The top comment, without a doubt, would always be cargos, just cargos,
Cargos.
like just like pointing it out, like, yep,
Yeah, we see him, man.
yeah, man, not cool.
God.
You shouldn't have posted this one.
Man, the old days. They're so much fun.
So much fun.
I'm gonna go get some cargo shorts this weekend.
Let's just bring him back.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Brandon, can we talk music?
Yeah, let's.
Will's on
fun.
kind of a journey here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have questions for you because I'm looking to you as our guiding light here. What's been a really good recent show that you've been to lately, and what's on your summer tour schedule this year?
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm so glad that we pivoted to the subject. So I just wrapped up a 3-night run at Hollywood Bowl out here for Fish, a band I've seen over 100 times.
Are they your most seen band?
Yeah, without a doubt. And like a lot of my, I mean, some of my best friends from growing up are like really into Fish. My brother and I, it's like a really special thing for my brother and I to go to the shows. We've been to, so many over the years. And actually I met my partner at a show as well. But so like Fish is like a huge thing for me. But 3 nights at the Hollywood Bowl was absolutely incredible. Just because it's it was kind of I moved to California in 2017, and it was kind of a bucket list like venue for me to see Fish there, just because it's outdoors. It's like this old school, Greek amphitheater. There's not a bad like sight line in it, and it's like 65 degrees at night. So it was just an incredible experience. So 3 nights in a row there. That was really fun. This weekend, I'm going to the Willie Nelson 90th birthday shindig, which I'm super stoked on. It's got like the lineup's crazy. It's like
Crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. It's like Neil Young and like Neil Young and like Billy Strings, like Tyler Childress, all these guys. So that's gonna be real fun. And then I'm gonna see a couple Dead and Company shows here, like since it's their final tour. I'm a big John Mayer guy. I like John and what he does. And I think I'm going to go to the Forum out here, and then I'm going to go to San Francisco for some of the final ones at AT&T. And other than that, some like my biggest like cool new band that I'm really into is this group called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, which is an Australian psych rock band.
Dude, Dylan was actually telling me about them like this morning.
I've been spinning them for a minute.
Yeah,
Really
you were
good.
early on them.
Are you talking about the
They're
Australian rock band formed in 2010 in Melbourne, Victoria?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow,
That's
good
exactly
good
what I'm
work,
talking
Dave.
about.
That's right.
It's crazy you knew that.
Stu McKenzie, the boys, Cook Craig, all of them.
They have this like very like 70s psych rock like sound, and they like they make an absolutely exhaustive amount of music. Last year they released like 4 studio albums, and yeah, they're just incredibly creative. And this year they're playing a lot bigger venues on their tour, and on the summer solstice they're playing Hollywood Bowl, and it's going to be like a 3-hour straight through set. They're like straight up marketed it like that. They're like, We're gonna get on the stage and we're not gonna leave it for 3 hours, and we're gonna be playing the whole time. So it's kind of like my thing.
They must have gone to the Eras tour and saw Taylor just put in absolute work for 3 hours straight.
Yeah, it worked for her. They can do it.
The Gizzard Lizard Kings can do it.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I'm looking at
I'm
pictures.
trying to see Taylor though this summer on her.
Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it.
Will and I both went, and I do not regret it at all. I almost wish I had scored Houston tickets because I would have gone. I'd gone to see it again. It was a lot of fun.
Damn.
Yeah.
Look at you.
It's gonna happen. I have to manifest it just like a little bit more.
It'll happen for you.
Where are you based? Where do you live, Brandon?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay.
I'm in on the west side in Culver City.
What went into the thought process behind the move to head out there? I'm kind of jealous. I'm not kind of jealous. I'm really jealous.
Well, so we started BroBible started in New York, and like I was kind of being involved on the partnership side. We were really focused on the trajectory throughout the years. BroBible, like New York, was a great place to start the brand because obviously there's the advertising industry is based there, the kind of news like industry, if you will, was there, and that opened a lot of doors for us. So it was a great place to kind of spend my 20s. But then when we sold BroBible in 2012 to a group called Woven Digital, which repped y'all for TFM on the ad side.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like an O&O in that group. We were a part of it for 6 years, and then in that my role kind of changed to more the business the business side in regards to like working with advertisers a lot. In addition to like content and just kind of like quarterbacking the way a lot of things work within the confines of like that organization that had like 20 salespeople and all these other kind of things going on. So they were like, their mothership was out here in Los Angeles, and I was working like California hours in New York, and that sort of was driving me nuts that I would be in the office until like 8 or 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like was pretty straight up with that organization. It was like, hey, look, like if I'm going to spend all my days, rather than just blogging or like making content, which is what I love to do, because first and foremost, I consider myself a writer. If I'm going to spend all my days like writing copy and, making decks and like all of the like kind of back end business stuff for people in California, that need to talk through things and everything like that, like you guys should just move me there. So that eventually happened. They moved me from New York to California. I integrated with that organization really for just a couple months, and then they were like, well, we're selling to another group, and like BroBible doesn't want to go along, or the buyer doesn't want BroBible to go along with the sale, but you have an opportunity to kind of take destiny back in your own hands. So we formed like a partnership group to buy BroBible back out of that sale and then run everything like totally independently. And I just love California too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was kind of my vibe, and it was like I think there's in 2017 there was a lot of really interesting like stuff happening with like YouTubers and culture and stuff like that in Los Angeles. It's just kind of was where I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And I've stayed because I like it. Like, so it's kind of a good place to do at this chapter,
How's J-Cam? What's he up to these days?
Dude, he's great, man. He's our CEO. He's
no shit.
CE bro.
CE bro. He came down to Austin. This was probably 2014, 15-ish. For South by Southwest. I don't know if you were on that trip or not, but
I was there. I just did golf with you guys.
I didn't play golf with him, but I did meet him at a Riff Raff concert downtown Austin. Oh, yeah, that's right. And I was there for like 3 hours waiting for him to hit the stage, and he was so late that I just went home. I didn't get to see him perform. But yeah, I got to hang out with J-Cam.
I'm so happy that you brought this up because I wanted to talk about it, but I was like hoping it would come up organically.
Okay.
Dude, that show was sick. A bunch of Grand X people came, as I remember, like, because we wanted to, since Austin's your home city, we wanted to invite y'all.
Yeah.
And dude, Riff Raff, it was a great party that was marred by the fact that Riff Raff
just wouldn't hit the stage.
Wouldn't hit the. So he did hit the stage with 10 minutes left before we had to close down Trinity Hall. Like it was like a whole nightmare because we were going back and forth with like his, like I think it was like a manager or something like that, and he was just being Riff Raff, like,
yeah,
and like was refusing to show up and come, and I don't know, there was some kind of issue, but then I think but we were sort of like, well, this is a breach and you've already been paid, so like we're gonna have to do some lawyering if you don't show up.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. And like he did eventually show up and fulfill, but I think the room was half full at the time.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was just too tired, I think, to stick around. But at least I got to hang out with some of you guys. Were you at that concert? I don't remember meeting you there.
I was.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I was there. I was running around because that was like a big we had 2 major advertisers that were like doing things for that. One was Spike TV, RIP. And like they had Ink Masters had this like interactive like tattoo booth like kind of off to the side there, where they were like people were getting tatted. And then we had Jägermeister as a sponsor too. And you guys know from from Bar Rescue, Chef Brian Duffy, like that character from that show.
I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Dave does.
He's one of the like consultants that Tafer like brings in, but he was behind the bar pouring drinks. So I was attending to a lot of like him. I didn't get to like socialize that much during it because I was working while Jay got to have a lot of fun.
I'm glad you brought up Spike TV because now I'm just looking at the Guys' Choice Awards from Spike TV. And I'm seeing some of their 2007 categories. One of their categories in 2007 was simply Hottest Jessica, and there were 2 nominees, Jessica Alba and Jessica Biel.
Ooh, who you got?
Imagine getting notified like, "Hey, Dave, you're up for the award Hottest Dave."
Yeah, man. All my life I've wanted that.
Oh man.
Yeah, the guy who won the biggest one that year was he won the Guys Guy Award, and that was Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Dude, the Spike Awards were iconic back in the day. Like A-listers were showing up to those award shows.
Dude,
like,
I don't know if I want to go to one of those the most, or like I kind of want to go to a Comedy Central roast at some point. It just feels like it's in the same realm.
Okay. 100%. There's like I don't know. Those look so much fun. Do they even still do those though?
I'm seeing here.
I have no idea.
This says the Guys' Choice Awards, formerly known as the Spike Guys' Choice Awards, is an awards show. It says is an award show. So I'm going to assume that there might be some other version of it at this point, but it says it ran from 2007 to 2016.
We need to bring it back. Let's get that IP if it's not around.
We worked really closely with Viacom on a lot of those kind of around the Spike Guys Choice Awards, and we did a photo shoot with oh my gosh, I'm gonna blank. It was Chrissy Teigen and who was the Alabama quarterbacks? Oh, Catherine Webb. That's it. Alabama quarterbacks.
Yes.
Like wife, girl, I think now wife.
AJ McCarron. Yeah.
Brent
it was AJ McCarron.
Musburger perved out on her during one of the games.
Yeah, Musburger made her famous.
Yeah.
Not
McCarron
AJ
got an early shout out last night on the draft.
Did he?
Yeah, just for being the #1 passer in Alabama history.
Oh.
Will with the facts.
Will loves Bama.
Yeah, I'm a big football guy. I know everything about football.
Are you really a big Bama fan?
No. I just acknowledge that everyone underrates Bama and they deserve more respect all the time.
He's not afraid to say it.
Yeah.
Bama and their 17 national championships,
Yeah.
whatever the hell it is. at
They're
this point.
underrated, man.
What do you think about that Eagles draft?
Dude, I feel great about it. It's a little look. I feel great about it. It's a little weird. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how. We'll see what I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think it's our defense is going to be sick. We need it. But at the same point in time, I think I'm allowed to be a little cautious here too.
I get it. Yeah, I don't like it from a Cowboys perspective, but
I'd be very happy if I were you.
yeah.
I mean, well, I hate getting too excited about draft picks because I feel like so many of them it just doesn't work out. But
Yeah, you can't put too much stock into it. I would never. You ever been to the draft? Did you ever?
No, I really want to go though. Have
Really?
you guys been?
No, and that's funny you say that because my wife, I looked at her last night and I was like, why would I ever want to go to this?
I think I would have been more likely to go when it was indoors than outdoors for some reason. I don't really know why, but the outdoor thing seems more wild to me. Whereas I want to be able to sit down and tune out for a little bit while drinking some beers.
Agree, and I would also need the Cowboys to have a top 10 pick so I can celebrate and get out of there, as opposed to a late round pick. Which you're just watching them kill time. They're rolling the Jonas Brothers out for some reason. I'm like, okay, I'm watching last night.
The Jonas, that was painful.
Alyssa was like, my wife's like, is that the Jonas Brothers? I'm like, yeah, and she's just like, why? I'm like, I don't know.
Why? It's never good when the NFL's rolling out people to kick off the NFL draft, and Sally comes over to me and she's like, "Why is the girl from SNL and the guy from Modern Family? Why are they the ones doing it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? That's a good question. It's that's the best Kansas City people we have right now."
It was really awkward. Where when the Jonas Brothers started talking about being Penn State football fans, which my ears kind of perked up when that was happening because I went to Penn State, but also because they have some kind of connection to State College, I think with some bar owners or something like that. So they do show up at a lot of games, but then they started talking about Saquon Barkley and just not really current to the draft right now.
Just not topical at all.
Not topical.
Oh man. Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one. Okay. Yeah, I figured maybe somewhere along the line that Bro Bible did some kind of event there, but
no, I mean, I just kind of want to go just to experience it for some time. But no, we haven't done a ton of events in this kind of current chapter. That's, we've some small things around Los Angeles, but we've really kind of dialed that business back. But man, I love going to stuff like that though.
Do you have any?
That's why it's kind of a bucket list.
Yeah, I get it. Do you have any Austin trips planned this year?
Dude, I want to come for the race, man. I mean, is race weekend fun?
It is. It's kind of a weird time though, because I mean, so much of the actual race happens outside of Austin. It all happens out at the track, and so all those people are there. It does create a very busy scene in Austin. It does create a pretty funny scene in Austin. There's a dynamic within the city that you just don't see very often. There's so many international people in.
There's a buzz.
There's so many weird dudes with models walking around that you're like, what's going on? Oh, it's F1 weekend.
Oh, that guy has a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Yep. He took a chopper to this restaurant or something.
I haven't actually been to a race yet, though.
The last
which
race
is
that I went
shameful.
to, I didn't go to the last one, but I went to the one the year before, and I've been to, I think I went to one other one. But it's it's very well done. Everyone's there to see the race. It is such a positive event. No one's falling over hammered. It's all a very positive, excited, pumped up atmosphere. It's a good time. I hope that they don't lose it. There's some theories out there.
It's in October usually. Is that right?
Late fall. Yeah. I don't know if it's October, November.
Yeah. It's right around ACL.
I'm worried Vegas is going to take away from it though.
Yeah.
I mean, because no offense to Austin, but Vegas is a pretty good draw for an F1 race if you're just a casual fan compared to Austin where you have to go out.
I feel like also the way that they're building that track out in Vegas too, where you're able to like just have a vantage point from the strip. Like it's gonna be
cool.
ridiculous.
I got sucked into like a 30-minute video of U2 touring the new Sphere in Las Vegas last night, the new music venue. Have you guys seen this?
No.
It's just a
I'm
giant sphere.
obsessed. I can't wait to go.
It looks insane. I know. In the beginning of the video, I was like making fun of it in my head, and then by the end of it, I was like, "Man, I can't wait to go to this sphere." It does look pretty wild.
It looks like a snow globe.
Mhm.
Like it's like a giant snow globe that holds like I think like 20,000 people or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like a stage. It's not like an arena.
And like everything's going to be like all the outside of it's going to be like super HD screens, and like the inside of it's going to be like a giant, essentially, what's it called? Like the movie thing.
Will, what artist is going to pull you to Vegas to see something?
I don't know. I'm worried that it's
just happens.
I'm worried it's going to be a U2 set for like the first like year that it's open, and I don't know if U2 is going to move the needle for me unless I get some free tickets.
I think that's like one of the like one of the struggles about that place is that it's so state of the art and like this multi-billion-dollar like facility that like they don't really know who they're going to fill it with.
I feel like you would need you'd need a huge budget in order to create the assets that need to be on the screen behind you to make it worth it for the people that are going to that show.
100%. And that's the thing. Like a lot of, even like really, really big acts, they just don't have they don't have the budget carved out in production to be able to like actually do that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe if Goose decides to do only Bob Seger covers, I'll go and watch that, and it'll just be Lake Michigan in the background, and I'll be happy.
Are you guys familiar with Rough? Are you guys familiar with the Goose? Has Goose bubbled up on this podcast yet?
No, but I got a feeling it's about to.
You've heard Goose, you just haven't realized that you've heard Goose.
Okay.
At this point,
is this something Dylan and I would be into?
I am unfamiliar. Probably as a surprise to nobody.
You're just familiar with the way that your high school friends do it. Talk about Goose.
Oh yeah.
If you want to get goosed, then I got some people.
You
got a guy. You got a goose guy.
You got a
goose.
They show up in the bumper music on Fox Sports NFL games every now and then.
Do they really?
Because
I know they have the guy that runs it.
The guy who does it is he's actually become a friend of mine out here in Los Angeles. His name's Jake Jolly. He's like the music guy. That's why you hear like Fish and like Grateful Dead and a bunch of like kind of left of center music in Fox Sports productions these days. Jake Jolly, he's a great guy. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it is always interesting to hear that. It's like, what just happened? Like, how did that take us into commercial break?
If I'm not mistaken, Goose has been regularly compared to jam bands such as Fish and Humphreys McGee, both of which the band's members count as influences. Is that correct?
Dude, wow, Dave, that's amazing knowledge.
How do you know all this stuff?
It's just like I forgot it at first, and then you said Goose, and you said Goose, and you put emphasis on it. Now I remember it.
Now you get it.
Yeah, dude. Shout out to Trevor and Peter and the boys.
Good band. I was listening to one of your shows one time, and I was laughing at it every time you say "good band."
Yeah, Dave's probably your favorite. He's everybody's favorite.
Yeah, that's Dave. That's Dave.
Not a big deal. We've accepted it. It's fine.
Yeah, this is what they do. They marginalize me like this.
Oh, come on, man. You're my favorite too, by the way.
Thank
Dave.
you.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, no, it's cool, man.
I was just kidding, man.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
What's next for Brandon in 2023?
Oh, let's see here. I mean, we're really like stay the course with the Bro Bible business right now. We got like some cool new distribution stuff going on with like MSN, and we added some new writers last year that have been pretty fun to have in the mix, especially on the sports front. We get to sports coverage pretty quickly these days, which is awesome. We've kind of optimized the business like that. Just trying to do like cooler, different stuff, to be honest. I think sometimes people are like, I'm sure you guys kind of feel this way about like, with everything that you guys have built. a lot of it, like people will be like, oh, what's next? What's like, how are you going to like, 4X, 3X, whatever. But like, we're a 15 person like company these days. And like, we're pretty content with just running, like maintaining, you know what I mean? And like capitalizing on opportunities when we can here and there. I'm kind of talking in esoteric business speak. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But like,
No, go off. How do you scale your business?
But like, no, like, I mean, I think people that think they're like, how do you become this big, massive thing? And like, I think for a lot of us, we're kind of more just like, hey, we've done this for, like 13 years now. Like, it's not really about like getting massive and culturally huge or anything like that. Like, it's more about like just continuing to maintain and, be proud of what we're putting out. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
of course
Very
it
much
does.
so.
Absolutely.
That's a great perspective.
Well, thanks for joining
like,
us
I like
today,
to
man.
think of it
sorry.
like, I like to think of these like content things as like family restaurants, like not necessarily like McDonald's. Like, it's like everybody has that great iconic like family restaurant that everybody knows in a city or neighborhood. And like, that's a like, my perspective is I'd rather Bro Bible be that than I would, be McDonald's.
I like that.
I'm gonna use that in a meeting like 3 months from now, and you guys are gonna be like, "Oh shit, you guys took that from Brandon."
That was deep,
like,
dog.
We're like, Dylan and I are
Please
texting
do.
like, he totally
Please do.
stole this from Brandon. Well, we got a link. We got to next time we're on the West Coast or next time you're in Austin, we got to link and do this in person.
You might see me in July in San Francisco if you're there.
Dude, that would be awesome. I'd love to. And I was hoping, I was like, Dave, when you like invited me to come on, man, I was like, damn, I should go to Austin for this. But because I got the Willie thing tomorrow,
I get it.
I just completely understand.
You just got to come here for a Willie show sometime. He does enough. Here.
That's a fair.
Hey, where can the folks follow you on Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to plug?
Yeah, Twitter's kind of my go-to. A little bit. It's kind of weird these days, but like, it's just my name, Brandon Wenerd. And also I'm trying to build up my Instagram.
Let's go.
So I should plug my Instagram. It's just Brandon.Wenerd on Instagram. I would be super appreciative if people follow me there. I want to like share cool shit.
Go follow Brandon, everybody.
Say no more.
Go hit that follow button. All right, Brandon. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure we'll hear from you again in the near future.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for having me on, man. It means the world to connect, and I have so much respect for what you guys do and what you guys have built into all your various endeavors, and nothing but love and support from over here.
Well, back at you, man.
Yeah,
we
it's
appreciate
mutual.
that a lot.
Thank you so much.
All right, Brandon. We'll see you, man.
Yeah, man. See y'all.
See ya.
Thank you.
Coffee's for closers only. You think I'm fucking with you? I am not fucking with you. I am not fucking with you. Coffee's for closers only. Closers only. Coffee's for closers only.
Holy shit.